Completing things is difficult. I wish I could tell you I don't have more unfinished drawings and paintings sitting around my studio and in random boxes and bookshelves around the house than I do anything else, but it's simply not true. I probably only finish about 40% of the projects that I start. Nowadays, that's improving, but I've been at this for a while, and it's really important to complete things. So let's take a look at why. First of all, when you finish a thing, you have something at the end of that process. You have something that you can look back on, something that you can be proud of, something that actually stands the test of time. When you finish a painting or a drawing or a sketchbook, that thing exists. And this sounds very rudimentary. It sounds very simple, perhaps. But it's undeniable. You can grab a sketchbook and show it to someone. If you had an idea that was floating around in your head, a sketch that in the moment stood for something else and you didn't finish it, years later, the ability to conjure what you thought of in that moment is probably going to be gone. We change as we grow, as we age, and being able to look back at the artist that you were a year ago, 2 years ago, in my case, 20, 25 years ago, that's a remarkable thing, especially if you settle down at some point, if you have a partner or you have kids, to be able to show them the things that you did when you were younger. If you have a kid, to be able to show them the things that you did when you were their age. It's very important. I've had a lot of these little run-ins lately with my daughter, who is 5 now, and I've been able to show her these are things that I made when I was 5, and that's really cool. It allows her to feel some connection to this older version of me that she would never realistically have. When you complete something, you have the ability to look back at it later, to see your continual forward momentum. And this is really important for us as artists who have a tendency to not be very good at observing our continual growth. When I look back at drawings that I finished a year ago, I can see at that moment that's what I was capable of. And if I haven't progressed at all, that's pretty depressing. But in almost all cases, I've grown. Pieces of what I'm doing have improved. And that's a really beautiful thing that completing a project can do for you. It gives you the ability to look back and go, oh my goodness, yes, I am growing, I am improving. But perhaps one of the most powerful things about completing projects, completing the tasks that you set out to undertake, is that you create a habit of finishing things. And you teach yourself that you're capable of doing that. There's been a lot of different kinds of drawings and paintings that I've engaged in over the years, where I dove in ambitious and excited, but at a fundamental level, I wasn't sure that I could do the thing. In almost every case, I've abandoned those things, because I'm human, and maybe I'm fickle. But recently, the past 2 to 5 years, the things that I've pushed through and I have finished, they fill me with confidence. They fill me with the ability to go on and to do more things like this. Right now, I'm working on Inktober for 2024. Last year, I worked on it for 2023. I did Smogist this year. Each of those things, when I complete them, if I complete them, they fill me with excitement, with dopamine, with the indisputable fact that I am capable of finishing those things. And we need that encouragement. We need the ability to look back in the future when times are tough, because times will inevitably be tough, to see that, oh, I am capable of that. I can finish things. I can put my all into something and produce something beautiful. Lastly, at the end of the day, most of what the world cares about when we want to show them the things that we do, the things that we work on, are finished products. Now, if you're working on your art for yourself only, perhaps this doesn't apply to you. But even those of us who are doing it just for the joy, just for the hobby, you have to admit it's kind of exciting to share it with somebody in your life who matters to you, with your spouse, with your children, with your parents. When you have a finished thing, you have something to show off, something to take that pride in, and something that the rest of the world actually cares about. I would caution you to do things only for this purpose. This can be pretty detrimental. Mostly, it's a side benefit. If you enjoyed the whole path of getting here, if you enjoyed working through all these things, and at the end you also have something to share with other people, what a wonderful boon that you've gotten out of that. But completing things is difficult. It's even more difficult if you're on your own. So if you are looking for a small community to work alongside, I would encourage you to check out our Discord community. There's a link to it in the description down below. It's just a small group of artists who work alongside each other, who joke about the things that mess with all of us, who practice things, who work through challenges sometimes together. There's not a lot of pressure, but it's mostly just a community because community for artists is so important. Well, I know it's hard, but I hope that this has been encouraging, that maybe this has given you a tiny little push towards finishing that sketchbook, finishing that last painting that you dove into. I would love to hear in the comments below what it is that you are working on completing right now, or what is causing you some heartache because you haven't completed it. As always, thank you for your time. Have a good one, y'all. See you soon.